Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift.
I hate for the idea that liking FNAF becomes equal to being anti-LGBTQ people or being racist or something like that. Don't let that person, don't let that creator take that away from you. Honestly, everyone on either side, even on the extremes of everything, no one wanted this to happen. But I'm a trans person who still loves this universe. And yeah, I'm a trans person who will still enjoy FNAF lore. No one killed FNAF. I mean, it's still there. It's literally still there. The games are still there. It'll take time to find to understand how you personally feel as a queer person or as a person of color. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, FNAF, Scott Cawthon, and I want to talk about it. So for those of you who are like regulars at my channel who might have no idea what this is all about, the creator of the popular horror video game Five Nights at Freddy, Scott Cawthon, has been under some criticism because he was found out to be giving donations to political parties, political institutions that were anti-LGBTQIA, and because of the backlash or because of this whole thing coming out, he decided to step back, retire, and step back from the whole FNAF world. And I want to talk about it because as a trans guy who has a Harry Potter tattoo, I know what this feels like, and I know what a mess this is to deal with and everything. So I just want to put in my thoughts and give my own balanced opinion, because right now the whole discourse, all the stuff on Twitter, on social media, on YouTube, it's all over the place, and maybe I'm just making it worse, but I want to give my own balanced opinion. And then if you are new here and you just clicked on here because you like FNAF, or because you are queer and you like FNAF and now you don't know how to feel, hi, my name is Luca. I usually make videos about Tourette's and sometimes trans related stuff. I sometimes do kind of commentary videos about whatever's going on, whatever I have thoughts about, and this is kind of, that type of video. So just talking about like my viewpoint on FNAF, I kind of like the game. I love horror games. I kind of like FNAF. I really like the lore about it. I really like the community surrounding it, and I like some of the games. I am not as much like invested into the FNAF world as some of you might be, but I do know what it feels like as someone who grew up with Harry Potter and being a trans guy. So I know what it feels like to realize that the creator of something that gave you so much, that created a world that you could escape in, and realizing that that person did not live up to the expectations that you had of them, and then having to deal with the whole fallout from it, and having to find your position in this, and how you relate to that work and to that universe. So that's what I want to talk about. But before I do that, I do want to say that in general, doxing people, sending people death threats and harassing people, no matter how much you don't agree with them, that's not okay. That's not going to help anything. It's illegal, like the first part of it. And you're not helping anyone with that. So whether you are someone who looks at me and completely disagrees with what I am, who I am, that's no reason to hate on someone. And on the other hand, when someone really disappoints you in their viewpoints, I understand it hurts, but that should not, and it should never be a reason to harass or dox anyone. Yeah, I mean, I'd hate for this whole situation with Scott stepping down, that there will be this whole movement of this idea that it was the queer people that caused the end of FNAF, and this whole divide existing, because let's be realistic, the whole FNAF community is very broad, and there will be loads of queer people that love the FNAF community and that are currently probably trying to figure out whether they can still like this whole game, this whole universe, and how they should feel about it. And of course, I can't answer that for you, but I can give you how I dealt with that when it came to the whole Harry Potter universe, because maybe you don't know, but Harry Potter was written by JK Rowling, and I grew up with those books in the time where I was really unhappy and I didn't know how to deal with anything. But those books were not my escapism, and this whole universe and the fan community around it was so important to me. And then it turned out that JK Rowling was quite transphobic and has posted horrible things about trans people. And then loads of trans people who enjoyed Harry Potter that much because it was a world to escape in, but was also a world that really promoted the support for the underdog, for people that were different, and that there was a home and a place for people that were different. And then to find out that the creator of that world did not agree with the very core of your existence, that hurts. And I can imagine that there will be FNAF fans, queer FNAF fans, that now are in the same position, that they think, well, you know, how am I going to deal with this? And yeah, no, I honestly, I get that. And there's no clear answer for this. I know that there will be people that will say that if you still enjoy FNAF, you are inherently transphobic or racist or something like that. But I don't think that has to be the case. I mean, if you truly love this universe, if this gives you something that gives you an escapism, or just a world that you can enjoy, a community that you can really enjoy, you don't have to have someone take that away from you, even if that is the creator of that universe. Because in the end, it's not their universe anymore, especially with the FNAF community. Just look at the amount of fan games and fan material and the entire community around it. FNAF is so much bigger than the couple of games and books that were created by Scott Cawthon. I mean, he might have thought of like the first bits of it, but in the end, the community and the universe of it is bigger than just what the creator made of it. And if you feel like you still want to enjoy parts of it or all of it, don't feel guilty for enjoying it. I don't think you should have to feel guilty for it. Right now, it's Pride Month, and kind of my tradition for Pride Month, talking about Harry Potter again, just making that comparison, is that I'll pirate all the Harry Potter games, the movies, and I'll enjoy all of it. I mean, it gives me this feeling of I can enjoy this. This is mine now. And yeah, you can still enjoy those works. And if you feel like you still want to buy the new game, but you still feel like you have to compromise for it, you could, I don't know, donate double of it to some great LGBTQ cause or something like that. Speak out that you are an ally or that you are part of the queer community. I hate for the idea that liking FNAF becomes equal to being anti-LGBTQ people or being racist or something like that. It shouldn't have to be. And I know that the idea of death of the author is complex sometimes, and especially when that author is still alive and still getting money from whatever they are creating, and you don't want that money to go into more of those causes that are actively against you. And again, even though I'm a trans guy, and yeah, I've had to deal with this. I'm not an American, I'm Dutch, and I'm lucky that in the Netherlands we don't really have those types of organizations really that are that big, that take donations to actively go against my rights. So I honestly don't know what that is like. I understand that is really difficult. So I also completely understand if you feel like nothing, I can't deal with this anymore. FNAF is dead to me. This whole community is dead to me. I'm going to do something else, which is also fine. But if you don't want to do that, don't let that person, don't let that creator take that away from you. Because in the end, this community is bigger than the person that created it. And this whole situation, it's horrible and it sucks. And I mean, everyone wishes it wasn't like this, right? Honestly, everyone on either side, even on the extremes of everything, no one wanted this to happen. And it could be just that, just something horrible, just creating more of a distance between people. But we could also use it to send a message to show that this world, this FNAF world that, I mean, FNAF world, let's not talk about that one, but this whole universe, that it is bigger and it's something beautiful that people can connect over, and that this whole community can overcome and still stick together and not break apart over. I mean, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? And maybe I'm being too optimistic. It's a trait of me. I'm fully aware of that, and I know how frustrating that can be. I know that, again, talking about Harry Potter, because that's just my personal experience. I know that it took me some time to find my place in this, because I have loads of friends that will tweet that if you still like anything related to Harry Potter, you are inherently homophobic, transphobic. But I'm a trans person who still loves this universe. And yeah, I'm a trans person who will still enjoy FNAF lore. Yeah. Even though I'm still not sure how I feel about spending money on that whole thing, how I will deal with that. But on the other hand, if I want to do something, I'm not going to let someone who does something that's against my existence stop me from enjoying something, even though they are the ones that created it. I might just like double my investment into something else, into something that's more, more constructive. And yeah, I do worry that there will be people that are really hurt by the idea of FNAF ending, and that will blame the LGBTQ community for this, even though it's not our fault. We didn't do this. In the end, Scott decided to quit. He also didn't have to do that. He could have just spoken out about it and just continued. I don't know. I mean, it's not our fault that this happened. I'd hate for that to happen. I'd really hate for that to happen, for this to become something about, it's the queer community against the not queer community, and whoever killed FNAF. No one killed FNAF. I mean, it's still there. It's literally still there. The games are still there. It's still being made. From what I understood, it's not like FNAF is ending, but Scott is kind of taking a step back, which is more of like a, public appearance type of move, which kind of makes sense. But it's not like the whole universe is ending, and even if there are no new official FNAF games or things coming out, there's still the community. There's so much fan stuff. There's so much community there. I mean, it's not the end. It's not over. Don't worry. it'll take time to to understand how you personally feel as a queer person, or as a person of color, or as an ally in this whole situation. If you are a fan of FNAF, what you feel comfortable with, and don't worry taking some time with that, and don't worry changing your opinion on that. If right now you want to just delete everything, that's fine. And then if you in 2 months feel like, you know what, I still want to enjoy this, or I still want to go onto the Reddit groups, or I still want to be part of the universe, that's still fine. For anyone watching this who is really, who honestly really feels brought down by this whole situation, I get it. And I understand that maybe your friends, if they are not really into like some game or book series, it is difficult to express how much this can shatter your world for a bit, because a game, a piece of fiction, can mean so much, especially when you are quote unquote different. And then finding out that the creator of that does something that really hurts you, that is something that it's hard to explain, but it can really hurt. And I get that. I honestly get that. And I wish you well. I really wish you well. And I hope that with time you can find your place in this whole thing, and that you can either close the book on this and find something new that you really enjoy, or find a way to still enjoy this franchise and not have to feel guilty about it, because we have nothing to feel guilty about. All right? I love you all. Truly, I hope to see you soon. Bye.
I am a candy cadet. Come get your candy here. I have candy all day, every day. Candy, candy, candy. Return to Candy Cadet again, and maybe I will tell you a story.